Welcome battlers to a new episode of Go Stadium's Top Picks, with advice and expertise from Go Stadium, presented by me, KitsuneKurisu. In this episode we'll be looking at the first pick for the Silph League Arena's Ferocious Cup, the Dark-type Eeveelution, Umbreon. The Ferocious Cup, with its interesting rule set, has allowed a meta that looks unlike any other Silph League Arena Cup. Umbreon quickly emerged as a top pick for the Ferocious Cup because its defense and HP weighted base stats mean it matches up very favourably against most of the other eligible Pokemon. Umbreon has the most positive matchups of any Pokemon eligible for the Ferocious Cup. It has that aforementioned great bulk and only one group of natural predators, Pokemon with the fairy fast move Charm, and Legacy Umbreon with the Community Day exclusive move Last Resort can hit almost every Ferocious Cup Pokemon for at least neutral damage. Umbreon, as a pure Dark type, is only weak to 3 types of attacks: Fairy, Fighting, and Bug. This, combined with Umbreon's natural bulk, means it's safe in a lot of scenarios and doesn't necessarily need to use shields to survive. It has 3 resistances, so if you are fighting against an Umbreon, avoid using attacks that are Psychic, Dark, or Ghost. That Psychic type resistance is a double resistance at that. Optimizing your Umbreon's IVs, that iconic 0-15-15 is the best for stat product. 5-15-14 is the best you can achieve from a best friend trade, and a 10-15-14 is the best you can get if you got your Umbreon from a raid battle when it was out for a tiny bit, or you got your Eevee from either an egg or maybe a research task. If you didn't evolve or didn't keep an Umbreon with the exclusive move Last Resort from either Eevee Community Day or the December rerun, and you need to get one from a trade, because that Pokemon is now potentially over a year old, when you do trade it, it has a high chance of going lucky. If you do have a lucky Umbreon, the best IV split you can hope for is a 12-15-15. If you want to optimize your Umbreon for attack, a 15-0-3 maxes out Umbreon's attack stat whilst also giving it the best possible stat product. And one optimized for defense is a 0-13-0. As always, if you want to find out where your Pokemon ranks, you can check out gostadium.club/PvP/IV, or use the rank checker bot either on the Go Stadium Discord server or on a server with the bot enabled. Umbreon has actually a remarkably small move pool, and with not a lot of variation there either. Its possible fast attacks are Snarl and Feint Attack, both dark. Snarl is head and shoulders the best pick, with a much lower damage per turn but a almost obscene 4.33 energy per turn, meaning you'll be charging your charged attacks just so much faster. Its possible charged attacks are Dark Pulse, Foul Play, and that Legacy Last Resort. You have viable combinations really with any of these 3 charged attacks, but Last Resort gives you a lot more coverage, and Dark Pulse probably a couple of more favourable wins than Foul Play, but we'll look at that in more detail in a moment. From these charts you can see why Snarl is greatly preferred over Feint Attack. That energy per turn means it charges almost a third quicker than Feint Attack for any of the 3 charged attacks that Umbreon has available to it. 4 Snarls will charge either Dark Pulse or Foul Play, and 5 charge Last Resort. Whichever moveset you choose to run on Umbreon, it gets consistent wins against Bibarel, Lickitung, Linoon, and Alolan Sandslash. Looking out in particular for that Charm, whatever moveset you run, you lose to Alolan Ninetales, Granbull, Donphan with Charm as its fast attack, and Tyranitar. Tyranitar being maybe the only Ferocious Cup Pokemon that Umbreon can't deliver any neutral damage to. That Rock and Dark type will resist both Dark and Normal. If that Tyranitar is running Rock moves, Smackdown, Stone Edge, whatever, no, bye-bye. Landing somewhere in the middle, with matchups that can kind of go either way, is Suicune. Suicune is a Pokemon whose Bubble Beam and Hydro Pump combination can cause a variety of different outcomes. Umbreon has the bulk to withstand a Hydro Pump from Suicune, and can generally come out on top, but very little is a sure thing when playing against Suicune. If you choose to run Umbreon with a combination of Last Resort and Dark Pulse, you pick up the win versus a non-legacy Umbreon. That last resort means that you can deliver neutral damage at the Umbreon who can only hit you back with resisted damage. Running an Umbreon with last resort means that you maintain an IV-dependent tie against an opposing last resort Umbreon and keep the matchup with Skuntank close. Skuntank with high stat product IVs defeats last resort Umbreon, but it's a narrow win. Last resort and Dark Pulse Umbreon also has the edge over Alolan Raticate. It requires good, but not necessarily exceptionally high stat product IVs. Dark Pulse allows Umbreon to defeat Minun from the lead position, without any energy lead. High stat product Minun can defeat less optimized Dark Pulse Umbreon, but in those cases, a Foul Play Umbreon would lose as well. Importantly, good stat product IVs can help Dark Pulse Umbreon defeat all Minun. Foul Play Umbreon cannot overcome Minun without an energy advantage or a significant IV advantage. Foul Play Umbreon with a max stat product does defeat a max attack Minun, but falls to default Minun and max stat product Minun. Dark Pulse can secure a consistent win against Hydro Pump Vaporeon. With high stat product IVs, a Foul Play Umbreon can also consistently defeat Vaporeon. Against Piloswine, Dark Pulse Umbreon reliably wins in the Zero Shield scenario, but needs high stat product IVs to reach a third Dark Pulse in the One Shield scenario. Dark Pulse Umbreon is the only set that can potentially pull off a win against Nidoqueen in the Zero Shield scenario. It requires a Snarl breakpoint, which if you use the rank checker to check your Umbreon, would require an attack stat of 93.65 to guarantee, and slightly less than ideal bulk on Nidoqueen. But for those with Legacy Umbreon with 92 to 94 attack, this might be a situational edge that you have over others with a higher stat product. While not necessarily win-loss differences, it's worth mentioning that Dark Pulse Umbreon can win by noticeably wider margins than Foul Play Umbreon against Aggron, Lairon, and Alolan Sandslash, although the Lairon swing is somewhat dependent on the opponent's IVs. If you're running Umbreon with Last Resort and Foul Play, having that Last Resort means you also pick up the win against a non-Legacy Umbreon, just like a Dark Pulse version would, also picking up the win against Alolan Raticate. Where it differs slightly is that Foul Play allows Umbreon to reliably defeat Ursaring in the One Shield scenario. Dark Pulse Umbreon falls just short in the lead position, requiring an energy or shield advantage to come out on top. Foul Play Umbreon requires high stat product IVs to have a chance to overcome Ursaring in the Zero Shields, a matchup where a Dark Pulse Umbreon falls just short of reaching a winning Dark Pulse without an energy lead. Foul Play also allows Umbreon to win against a Donphan using Counter as its fast attack. Noticing a trend with these non-fighting counter users? Here Foul Play allows Umbreon to win, where a Dark Pulse Umbreon would be defeated from the lead position. Donphan sets with Heavy Slam and Play Rough consistently win against a Dark Pulse Umbreon, but against a Foul Play Umbreon, it can win depending on IVs and shield baiting. Similar to Dark Pulse, Foul Play Umbreon wins in the Zero Shields against Piloswine, but requires high stat product IVs to reliably defeat Piloswine in the One Shield. Unlike Dark Pulse Umbreon, Foul Play Umbreon has a much stronger matchup with Mamoswine. Foul Play Umbreon wins by a larger margin in the Zero Shields and wins the One Shield matchup, where even a max stat product Umbreon with Dark Pulse will fall short. Again, while not a win-loss difference, Foul Play Umbreon can win against Pachirisu by a wider margin than a Dark Pulse Umbreon. If you don't have a Legacy Umbreon, or you just choose to run Foul Play with Dark Pulse, running both Dark moves on a non-Legacy Umbreon allows you to pick up some unique wins, but at a steep cost. Foul Play and Dark Pulse Umbreon beats Minun, Vaporeon, Ursaring, Donphan using Counter as its fast attack, Mamoswine, Piloswine, and has a winnable matchup against Nidoqueen in the Zero Shields. That steep cost, though, is losing to any Umbreon using Last Resort, Alolan Raticate, and Skuntank. These Dark Pokemon can potentially win even when faced with a 0-1 or 1-2 shield deficit, which illustrates how critical Last Resort is in Dark-type head-to-heads. For an even more in-depth look at how to optimize Umbreon's IVs, or whether or not to run an Alolan Raticate in its place as the Dark-type generalist, check out Go Stadium's meta-analytics Ferocious Dark comparison on the Sylph Arena's Reddit. Link will be in the description below. Thank you for watching. Hope this helps you battle with or against Umbreon in upcoming Ferocious Cup tournaments. If you like this video, please drop a like, subscribe to Go Stadium's YouTube channel. If you like this style of video, please check out my YouTube channel, KitsuneKurisu. Matane!